The crisp autumn air of Dallas, November 22, 1963, held a breath of anticipation. A nation watched as President John F. Kennedy's motorcade wound through Dealey Plaza, a symbol of youthful vigor and boundless hope. Then, the unthinkable happened, a sudden eruption of violence that threatened to shatter the American dream. But in this divergent timeline, fate intervened with a whisper of defiance. The first shot struck, a glancing blow, but the second, intended for the head, was deflected by a quick-thinking Secret Service agent. Chaos erupted, but the president, though wounded, was alive. The immediate reaction was a maelstrom of disbelief and frantic action. Agents swarmed the limousine, shielding their president, rushing him away from the scene of terror. The world held its breath, poised on the precipice of an unimaginable tragedy. News of his survival initially met with stunned silence, then exploded across the globe. Relief washed over nations, a collective sigh that transcended borders and ideologies. America, shaken to its core, found itself not in mourning, but in a state of profound, almost miraculous inspiration. Hours later, from a hospital room, a slightly bandaged but resolute John F. Kennedy addressed the nation. His voice, though strained, resonated with an unwavering strength that captivated millions. He spoke not of vengeance, but of resilience. His message, delivered with a quiet intensity, echoed through every living room. We will not let fear define our future. It was a declaration, a promise, and a rallying cry that transcended the immediate horror. The words were a balm to a wounded psyche. This moment, born from the jaws of near catastrophe, forged an unbreakable bond between Kennedy and the American people. His survival imbued him with a renewed sense of purpose, a profound understanding of the fragility of peace and the imperative of progress. The nation, united in relief, stood ready to follow. Kennedy's brush with mortality became the crucible for a radical shift in global policy. He emerged from the Dallas trauma with an unshakable conviction. Humanity could no longer afford the perilous dance of nuclear brinkmanship. His survival was a stark reminder of the stakes. He immediately intensified efforts for peace talks with the Soviet Union, driven by a newfound urgency. The Cuban Missile Crisis had been a terrifying prelude. His own near-death experience solidified his belief that the world stood too close to the abyss. Diplomacy became his paramount mission. His conviction was simple yet profound. The survival of civilization depended on cooperation, not confrontation. He articulated this belief with a clarity that resonated even with his adversaries. The Cold War, he argued, was a shared threat, not merely a geopolitical game. In a move that stunned the world, Kennedy initiated a historic meeting in Moscow with Nikita Khrushchev. The two leaders, once symbols of opposing ideologies, sat across from each other, not as rivals, but as men who had stared into the void of mutual destruction. This was a turning point. From this unprecedented summit emerged the framework for a process of genuine arms reduction. It was not merely about limiting weapons, but about dismantling the very mechanisms of global annihilation. Trust, painstakingly built, began to replace decades of suspicion. This dialogue laid the foundation for a new era of international cooperation, replacing the ingrained pattern of escalation. The world watched as the two superpowers, once locked in a deadly embrace, began to explore avenues for shared security. The threat of nuclear war began to recede. The space race, once a fierce competition for technological supremacy, transformed into a collaborative endeavor. The idea of planting flags on distant celestial bodies gave way to the more profound vision of shared human exploration. The cosmos became a unifying frontier. Early discussions began about joint missions beyond Earth, transcending national pride for the sake of scientific discovery. The Moon, then Mars, became destinations for humanity, not just for individual nations. The stars beckoned with a promise of unity. Kennedy's survival also ignited a fierce determination to accelerate domestic progress. The fragility of life underscored the urgency of addressing systemic injustices within American society. He understood that a nation divided could not truly thrive. He moved with unprecedented speed to champion civil rights, recognizing that the moral imperative could no longer be delayed. His collaboration with Martin Luther King Jr. deepened, becoming a powerful alliance for social change. They walked together literally and figuratively. The swift passage of the Civil Rights Act became a landmark achievement, not just a legislative victory but a moral triumph. Its passage was expedited by Kennedy's unwavering commitment and the nation's renewed sense of purpose. The arc of justice bent more sharply. Iconic images of Kennedy and King walking together, speaking from the same platforms, became indelible symbols of a nation striving for equality. Their partnership transcended political expediency, embodying a shared vision for a more just America. Their unity inspired millions. This powerful alliance led to a faster pace of racial integration and equality across American society. Barriers crumbled more quickly, opportunities expanded, and the promise of America began to extend to all its citizens. The dream was becoming a reality. By the decade's end, Kennedy championed science and innovation with an almost messianic fervor. He saw technological advancement not just as economic growth, but as a pathway to solving humanity's greatest challenges. The future was to be built on ingenuity. In 1969, not content with merely reaching the moon, Kennedy issued an audacious call for Mars exploration. He challenged the nation to look beyond the lunar surface, to set its sights on the red planet. It was a vision that captured the imagination of the world. The nation and its allies rallied behind this ambitious Mars vision, seeing it as a testament to human potential and international cooperation. It was a goal that transcended political divides, uniting humanity in a shared quest for knowledge. The impossible seemed within reach. NASA's programs expanded rapidly, fueled by unprecedented investment and global collaboration. The space agency became a beacon of human endeavor, attracting the brightest minds from around the world. The sky was no longer the limit. This era saw the formation of robust international partnerships for space exploration, sharing resources, knowledge, and risks. The cosmos became a shared laboratory, a testament to what humanity could achieve when united by a common purpose. The future was truly boundless. The absence of the Vietnam War, a conflict averted by Kennedy's altered foreign policy, freed up immense national resources. The billions that would have been spent on war were instead redirected, fueling a domestic renaissance. This was a peace dividend of unprecedented scale. Heavy investment poured into technology, education, and infrastructure, laying the groundwork for sustained economic prosperity. Universities flourished, research labs buzzed with activity, and the nation's physical backbone was modernized. The future was being built from the ground up. By the 1970s, high-speed rail networks crisscrossed the nation, revolutionizing travel and commerce. Cities were connected, distances shrunk, and economic activity flowed with unprecedented efficiency. America was moving faster, literally and figuratively. This era also saw the pioneering development of early renewable energy projects, driven by a forward-thinking vision for sustainable growth. Solar and wind power, once niche concepts, began to gain traction as viable alternatives. The seeds of a green future were sown. The youth of America, spared the draft and the disillusionment of war, channeled their energy into research, culture, and innovation. Their idealism, once expressed in protest, found new outlets in scientific discovery and artistic expression. A generation was unleashed. The counterculture, rather than devolving into widespread disillusionment, blended with this spirit of progress. Its questioning spirit fueled creativity and challenged conventional thinking, contributing to a vibrant, evolving society. It was a synthesis of idealism and pragmatism. The 1980s saw fewer proxy wars and a significant increase in international collaboration. The world, having witnessed the benefits of cooperation, continued to move away from Cold War-era conflicts. Diplomacy became the preferred tool for resolving disputes. Early climate awareness movements gained significant traction, supported by scientific consensus and political will. The understanding of humanity's impact on the planet grew, leading to proactive measures. Environmental stewardship became a global priority. Kennedy, in his later years, became a vocal advocate for protecting Earth for future generations. His speeches on environmental responsibility resonated deeply, urging global leaders to act decisively. He championed a legacy of planetary preservation. The global economy grew in a more balanced and sustainable way, driven by shared innovation and responsible resource management. International trade flourished, but with an increasing emphasis on ethical practices and environmental protection. Prosperity was redefined. In his later years, John F. Kennedy became a towering symbol of wisdom and resilience. His survival in Dallas had not merely extended his life, but had deepened his understanding of humanity's potential for both destruction and salvation. He was a living testament to hope. He was consistently seen mediating international conflicts, his voice a calming presence in times of tension. His diplomatic prowess, honed by decades of global engagement, averted countless crises. He was the world's elder statesman, a trusted arbiter. He is remembered as the man who, through a twist of fate and unwavering conviction, guided humanity onto a brighter path. His life became a testament to the power of leadership, vision, and the courage to choose peace over conflict. He changed the course of history. His enduring legacy is one of profound peace, relentless progress, and unparalleled international cooperation. The world he helped shape was one where dialogue replaced dogma, where shared challenges were met with shared solutions, and where the future was built on hope, not fear.